Album review. Today's album is Alazka Phoenix. Today we are joined by Will.
Hi.
Aidan.
Phoenix.
Myself, Denver. And Joe.
Hello. So, this is an interesting one. Alazka Phoenix. Picked it because I heard a few songs from them and I thought it bridged the gap very well between.
Okay.
And Joe died.
I got out. There we go. Sorry. I thought I was on my computer and I closed my Mac screen so I could see my computer screen, and I forgot that I was on my Mac. Anyway, so yeah, I thought heard a few songs. I thought they were really good, and I thought that they bridged the gap very well between pop or like indie kind of rock and the metal screaming. Now, this is an interesting one because now listening to the full album, I don't think that's the case. I think, and this is a new one for me. I thought this album would be so much better if there was no screaming. So much better. I felt frustrated. This album made me feel so frustrated because every song I'm like, his voice is really good, and then boom, screaming, and you're like, no, I didn't want that. That was going to be good. And then, it feels like every song is almost ruined by the screaming.
Have we converted Joe somehow?
Maybe it's been a
It's
it's a
like
role
reverse
reversal.
thing, yeah.
I would completely agree with what you're saying.
I loved his clean voice. I think he's got a really good voice.
It's two guys.
Is it two guys?
Yeah.
Well, the
it's
clean
two
guy,
guys.
the guy who does the clean stuff is fucking brilliant.
You don't look very clean.
And I thought
He's also not in the band anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the screamo guy now.
No, so now the band's just not going to be listenable. If they make any more music.
Correct.
So yeah, I just think all their songs didn't really need screaming in them. They didn't feel heavy or anything like that. I just don't know. It didn't feel like it was needed at all. And anytime I would go to, I still would, don't get me wrong, I didn't love the album, but I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was good for what it was. But I think it's just there's that frustration that there's screaming in it.
But you were saying that you didn't you were saying it didn't need screaming in it. When is screaming necessary?
Screaming necessary?
Maybe when you're trapped under a car.
When it's
or hit by a car.
Hit by a bus.
Or just being a car. What if you are Lightning McQueen? I'd scream.
I think when the music's appropriate. I don't think the music's appropriate.
Yeah, but when is it ever appropriate to ruin a song?
Anyway,
go on.
Just go past it. That's just not true. Anyway, another point I wanted to point out is a song called Everglow on the album. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it sounds very much like a 30 Seconds to Mars song.
Yeah, something like that. I thought in general they had quite a... There was a few bands that I feel like they almost imitated. Maybe not necessarily through choice, but a few bands came to mind when I was listening to them.
Yeah, definitely. Usually when I pick up on these things, you guys are like, fucking no, Joe. That doesn't sound like them at all. But then, to get my own confirmation, I went on the Everglow music video, and literally the first comment is, hold on, I'm getting it up. It's fucking 30 Seconds to Alaska is the top comment on that video.
So
that's just
some
random, the destination.
Some random guy on the internet agrees with Joe.
So I was like, that's enough.
That's enough confirmation for you to warrant saying it out loud and not sounding like a prick.
Joe loves his wise knowledge found in YouTube comments that he just takes as gospel. It's a
There's
classic.
another guy who says it as well. Anyway,
technically, a guy in the YouTube comments gave me a free N-word pass. So, do I use it?
I have to say that I think that one of the reasons you think it is so 30 Seconds to Mars is because it's got that. Do you know, that typical? It's typical.
It's just in it.
Do you know, the backing singers, it's very closer to the edge or Kings and Queens-esque.
It's more like that. It literally the melody is exactly the same as I think it's called fucking.
It's definitely the most like upbeat on the album, I think. Everglow.
Yeah.
But these things said, I don't particularly not like the album. I think it's still a really solid album. I think it's just, like I said, it's just frustrating. With that said, my worst favorite is Everglow.
Because he hates 30 Seconds to Mars.
I don't like 30
And
Seconds to
fun.
Mars. But it was more so that because it was so close to 30 Seconds to Mars, it was like it just didn't feel as original as some of the other songs. And I didn't really not like any of the other songs. Whereas this one, I was like, they're kind of just copying another band, so that's it. It's not
They probably weren't. I can't imagine they were like, you know what we should do? Rip off 30 Seconds to Mars.
I know, I get that. But,
the problem is you're slamming them for their unoriginality of a thing that they didn't necessarily do because you're not there and don't know what they said.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't invent music, so...
I'm not saying
they didn't invent music, it's unoriginal.
When you say something's not original, that doesn't mean they purposely copied it. It just means we've heard that before.
But we've heard everything before. Like you say, all chords are the same and you end up reusing them in every single way.
Yeah.
So everything's unoriginal.
Yeah, so using that as leverage...
awful.
I think that's an unfair comment, because I think...
I feel like you're just a hypocrite, Joe. Carry on.
Hypocrite siren!
I'm wound up now.
Please continue.
My least favourite... Not my least favourite. Oh, God. Now you put me off. My third favourite song was Ghost. I just liked the chorus melody in this one. I know you're going to say it doesn't really have a melody, but I think the rhythm and everything really went well in that one. I liked it. I think the production is really good on this album as well. That's definitely another thing worth pointing out. Did you guys take a listen to the Empty Throne acoustic?
No, because it wasn't on the album.
To do that? Yep, but I said to listen to it.
Well, I don't listen to you, Joe.
I don't remember you saying that.
No, to be fair, he definitely did say that.
Yeah. Thanks, Will.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Maybe I cut it out of the album review, though. Maybe that's why I can remember it. And...
Definitely worth listening to that, because it's not like any of the songs on this album. It's just a stripped down version of Empty Throne, which is on this album. And it's so good.
Does it still have the Screamo in it?
No, it has no Screamo. It's all
That's what I mean. It's just depressing because it's just so much better than anything on this album. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay.
Like, it is so much better than...
Like, that's what they could have been. Could you imagine if it was just an album of that?
Oh, yeah, did you listen to it, Aidan?
Joe showed me it ages ago. I was like, this is good.
What do you think of this band? And he was like, dude, this is really good. And then I was like, you want me to ruin it? And then I played the real version of his song. I mean, it's still not terrible, but he was like, it's...
But Screamo in it.
But, it's kind of ruined by the screaming. And the Screamo guy, he's a good... Like, I know you guys can't really judge this, but, like, he is good. Like, he's a good screamer. But, like, I don't know. There you go. Second favourite, Phoenix. One of the songs that I already listened to before this. I think his vocals are really good in this. They almost sound, like, forced out, but, like, in a good way. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't know. They like that kind of like forced,
like
thingy.
Straining.
Yeah, kind of fitted it. I thought it was really good. And then 30 seconds in, boom, Screamo, and you're just like, it didn't need that.
Don't have that problem with the song Ash. 30 seconds in, it's over.
It's over. Yeah, that's it. Great song. I think the thing is, I don't think the songs are particularly ruined by the Screamo. I just think they could be so much better without. I keep making this point. I'm going to stop making that point now. But the top three, I kind of felt they were more like you could tell they were more iconic. I don't know. That sounds really weird. You can kind of tell when a song's good, iconic because it just stands out more. I guess these three songs did. And then top one, I would be surprised if this isn't everyone's favorite.
I love it when you say
that. which is Empty Throne. Because it just has like the catchiest chords, catchiest vocals. It's all kind of just catchy, and I like it. That's the song that I listen to the most. And then obviously there's the acoustic version, which is just better than that. But yeah, I mean, there's not much really else I can say about it. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I just wish there wasn't screamo in it, and I think the album's almost worsened because of the frustration I feel. There you go. That's my review.
Thank you, Joe. I feel like I completely agree with your final statement there, that it just could have been so much better without the screamo. I would describe what I think sums this album up, really, is it's really a lesson in ruining music.
Oh, okay.
Because
how so?
The clean vocalist is like so good, and so many of these songs, for like, I'd listen to them for one 30-second window, and I'd be like, oh my god, this is like a really good song. I could skip ahead 30 seconds to the next bit, and it's just awful, unnecessary screaming. Like that, it doesn't even feel like it added any like passion or anything to the moment. It was just like, you know what? Instead of singing this, we'll just scream it.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Can I say something?
No.
Go ahead.
No, you
Before you keep like saying how great of a singer he is, imagine he did every song on his own.
Yeah, that's what we mean. That's like.
I'm saying I'm not convinced. Yeah, like
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
I don't think he's the best singer, to be honest.
I don't think he's strong enough. Like,
I reckon he's just. These guys are kind of just like budget We Are the Ocean.
Yeah, like if you put him on his own on every song,
I think it wouldn't hold.
No, I just think if you listen to every part of his song and each bit, he sounds exactly the same. Like there's no difference from any song.
You know what, Will? I actually agree with you.
So
let's kiss.
I should probably have waited. But
is it kissing time?
That's an interesting thought. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it's definitely an interesting thought.
I mean, I must admit, when I'm listening to it, like I felt like it was so good, his bits, but then I'm like, listening to it, I'm like, do I think it's so good? Because the contrast of it's like 0 degrees water can feel warm if you've just had your hands in like. Okay, 0 degrees water was a bad example. Say, like, room temperature water feels warm compared to ice water. Like, if you put your hand in ice water, then back it into room temperature, like, oh, this water's nice and warm. When in reality, it's not warm. And maybe that's what this singer is. Like, maybe he just seems really good because the screaming is so shit.
I don't know. I think that's a perfect case of, please do go listen to that acoustic song, because he sings that himself all the way through. And I think he does hold up there. But obviously that's a kind of different because it's acoustic, but there you go.
Denver just sat there like, how come when blow on soup gets cold, but when blow on ice melt?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I actually did a little bit of research into this band, just looking into them, and then found out, so Joe loves to say like melodic enough. Actually, their genre is classed as like melodic. What is it? Metalcore is actually the genre.
Melodic metalcore.
Yeah,
interesting.
I've never heard a bigger load of bollocks in my life.
No, that is fair.
That's like trying to say friendly war crimes.
Like metalcore is like a way.
Fuck off, Joe! I'm not having none of it.
Friendly war crimes. I like that a lot.
God, just do a little war crime.
I don't know what the main singer's doing now because he's not in the band anymore. It's just the screamo guy.
He's probably living off all the money that he earned from being in this band.
Well,
they brought out
they're huge.
They brought out a couple of songs recently. Like the first songs I heard from him was a song called "Dead End," and he's in that. And that came out like.
Sorry, the first song's called what?
Last year. Dead End.
Yeah, well, he left the band last year.
Oh, did he?
But yeah, so I felt like so many of the songs had promise. They're like, oh, this could be good, but it's just been ruined. Like pretty much every song was like good, but ruined by screamo. Was kind of my note and everything. I liked the sort of intro instrumental. I thought that was quite good, especially how it like phased straight into from echoes to ghosts. I also liked the quite clean look of the album. Like I liked the album. I like how when you actually look at the titles, like none of the titles are really long or stick out. It's kind of just a nice, clean looking album. But
do you rate an album higher for that?
Not normally, but I just looked at it. I was like, I quite like it's that. Like it's quite
a nice
clean
aesthetic
package. Yeah. You haven't got the whole like thing of like you got one song that's stupidly long name for no reason and all that shit.
I've never felt more personally attacked on Mayday Parade's behalf.
Parade,
Yeah.
Well, it's funny actually. You said Mayday Parade, but I was thinking 1975. That's one thing I don't like about that. It's like stupidly long titles, but yeah, I guess like Mayday Parade as well because fuck me, that was a pain in the ass to write out for the songs, but and it kind of
must have made your fingers hurt.
Yeah, it did.
These titles are too long and now my fingers hurt.
Exactly. My least favourite was Heart of Gold because it's just all screamo and shit.
Fair enough.
I feel like that was quite a standout. Well, actually, I say standout. Yeah, it was a standout worst one. And I'm kind of glad it did have that because without that, I was like, God, I don't know what I'd pick because so many of the songs would have a good bit and then a bad bit, and it was like, it was difficult. So I'm kind of glad that was on there just for an easy worst pick, really. I thought, I was going this. The song, what's it called? Everything. That was like the only one on the album which like had that. I feel like the screamer was used in the right points.
Yeah.
Like it was used to accentuate certain moments, but the rest of it was just singing. So for that reason, at first I was like, "Oh, this must be my favorite song," but I actually found the song a bit boring.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing, and I was like, when I was thinking about this, rating my top 3, and I was like, see, everything has very little screamo in it, and if it does, it's very in the background. But then I was like, yeah, but there's nothing about it.
Yeah, the song actually just sucks.
Yeah.
So I did have it in my top 3 originally, but then took it out because I actually preferred the good parts of the screamo songs as opposed to the whole of that song. So then third was Everglow, but just because of how sort of upbeat it felt, it's definitely more upbeat on the album. So I liked that. Second was Empty Throne.
How so?
Fair enough.
Give us an in-depth analogy. Why was Empty Throne your second favourite? Do you give statistics?
Because I can't remember the song. Well, that's why it's not number 1.
Go on.
Like, and it didn't really have it was just good, but had screamo, and it was the best of the good songs, but with screamo. Apart from one other song, which like just had it just had a better vocal hook.
Okay, can you throw out some statistics from me there?
Statistics?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's some statistics?
It's had 1.8 million plays.
Go on. A few more. Did you know that we share 70% of our DNA with cabbage?
Yes, I did, because I've been banging many cabbages.
I prefer the cauliflowers because they're white.
Oh my god.
And your favourite?
I prefer blueberries because they're more black.
Man, that's nice. And also, how the fuck do you fuck a blueberry?
If you get enough of them, just mash them together.
Just crush them.
Just pack them in, like on a ship or something. Just pack them in tight.
Hang on a minute. A lot of black things packed on a ship tightly.
Yes. You don't have to like feed them much. They stay there all right.
They're all right.
They stay fresh and ready to go.
I feel like they quite like it actually.
Yeah, I think they would. I think a blueberry wouldn't know what to do if it was like left to go free.
Yeah, exactly. They should probably just stay as blueberries.
I think they enjoy it.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you know a blueberry got shot?
Fuck's sake. My favourite song was Legacy. Because I felt like, other than the first like minute, which is like solid screaming, after that I feel like the vocal hook, something about it I really liked. And I actually, when I start the song, I'm like, oh fuck, what is this shit? And then it started, I was like, oh shit, I really like this song. Again though, none of these songs I would really want to listen to outside of this album review. Just because of the screamo. Like the second that came on, I'd be like, skip. Like even with Legacy is my favourite, but if that came up in a playlist, I wouldn't sit through a minute
of the screaming
to just hear the good bit. I would just go skip next song. So yeah, A Lesson in Ruining Music. An album review by Denver Wilson. Aidan.
Next.
Alazka's a bit of a tricky one for me personally, because like I went into this album expecting to fully hate it and like, oh, it's another Joe Midwood write-off, and oh, where did I leave my loaded handgun? My brain needs a new breathing hole. But actually, I was kind of mistaken. Shock horror, big twist, classic always, because it's everything I dislike about metal music, but with a lot of pop punk energy thrown in. Just crammed in there. And once again, another good singer falls victim to the life of creating subpar music with his screamo pal. He's like, hey man, I wrote a song, and the screamo guy comes over, looks at it, and it's just like, yeah, but what if we just fucking ruin this?
It's the most issues like metal band we've had since.
Definitely. And that's the thing, is that I didn't even it's a controversial statement. Didn't hate this album. Didn't hate it. Did not intend on giving it like a 2. Still probably won't. Worst one, Hearts of Gold. More like Hearts of Bold, because it was brave to release this song.
It's Hearts of Gold, not Heart of Gold. I misdid that.
Well, that's okay. I forgive you. I mean, if you want, we can go back to your part and redo the whole album review from there, so you don't sound like an idiot.
Hearts of Gold.
Oh, you're just going to dub that in?
Yeah, it's going to dub that back in.
That's smart. That's big brain. I don't have a lot to say about it, really. Like, I didn't really have a lot to say about most of the songs on this album. They're all just sort of like okay, and then the streamer guy comes in and then leaves again, and you're just like, well, why was he even in here? Who let that man in? It's like when a streaker runs onto the pitch in football. They're like, well, who? How did you even get? Like, why? Now you're ruining this. Why? Anyway, number 3, I chose The Witness. I hadn't heard that one come up yet.
No.
Again, don't really have a reason. It's just there. All of these songs I feel could be fixed by removing the screamo guy and adding my main hype man, Biggie Cheese.
What?
Number 2, Empty Throne.
Oh,
I feel like
I said I was going to be surprised if it's not everyone's first. It's everyone's second so far.
Yeah, and I was surprised you made such a stupid statement.
Well, I'm surprised you're still alive, you son of a bitch.
I wish I wasn't. The verse more than makes up for the pre-chorus for me, and it gives the screamer a little sort of like a little N-word pass for being able to be in the chorus. You're like, go on then, mate. Yeah, you can be in this one. But because the verse is good, the pre-chorus is fucking awful. And then the chorus is good, but then the screamer guy's there in the background, like, I'm here too.
It's such a thing with this album, isn't it? Like, just the really good to really bad, like, in the same song.
But, like, I think Will's right in the sense that if there wasn't the really bad, the really good wouldn't be good. Yeah. And, like, I don't think I could listen to a full album of just him. Because notice right at the beginning, I said another good singer falls victim to a life of creating subpar music. I didn't say great. I didn't say fantastic. I didn't say mesmerizing. I didn't say fandibbly-docious. He's only good.
He was on, like, the Norwegian X Factor.
What's that called? The X Factor? Hello, welcome to the X Factor. They've got Seaman Cool. Oh, hello, I'm Seaman Cool.
Well, I've seen Vikings now, and I now know how language works. It's just everyone speaks English in their own head.
They don't sound Norwegian, do they, on this thing?
Derby derby.
They sound American.
Who does?
I don't know. I thought they sounded quite English. I don't know how you'd sound Norwegian in a song, to be honest. I think like
there's no other guy high.
Just listen to Sigrid.
I think it only works for certain like.
How do you scream Norwegian?
Like Scottish. Scottish could be very like in. I do what. Give up.
Yeah, like you can't tell. There's only a few bands where you can tell they like sound Scottish when singing.
I don't think Irish singers you can tell that much. I don't think.
But usually, Welsh. If they are singing Scottish, they're normally bad. And that's because Scottish is one of the worst accents to possibly have.
Yeah.
Give a list of the attractive accents you know, and nobody will say Scottish.
You know what really turns me on?
Right, lass, wants to go down the chippy and have a me fucking finger up your snatch.
I quite like Scottish.
I've said before that, like, Scottish singers even admit themselves they don't sing Scottish.
They don't sing Scottish
because it sounds terrible.
It's because no one can understand Scottish.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
This is such bullshit, man.
Is it because Biffy Clyro's Scottish?
Yes.
That explains it.
To ever live.
They don't even, like, the thing is, being Scottish is like the least romantic way. It's just like, it's like you could go, you know, fucking suck my dick. Or in Scotland, you go, all right, babe, you want to clean my peen with your speaking machine?
No, I find the Scottish accent quite
Want a tickle in your voice box?
Right,
You're going the right way about
like,
to smack her in the face with me, cock.
You are saying, like, you are speaking like a bloke, though. Like, if it was a female, it wouldn't be so bad.
No, they're both the same. They're interchangeable.
They really are. They're both disgusting. Honestly, fuck Scotland. It's a write-off.
God, we've already said we hate Norwegians. We now hate Scottish. We're not doing very well for our,
I'm just saying they should dig a trench up on the line of Scotland and just float away.
Bring back Hadrian's Wall. That's what I say.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh no, I quite
Number
like
one.
Scotland, to be fair.
My favourite, Legacy.
Oh, I feel better for myself when I pick the same one as Aidan.
Yeah, because we're like big brain. Love the chorus, and I really like the final. Can you call it a breakdown? Is a breakdown just where like it mainly focuses on one instrument or an aspect of the song?
I put nice guitar riff.
Breakdown's supposed to just be the bit where you can't not head bob to it.
Well, I feel like the ending was a breakdown of sorts. Well, like the
acapella?
Yeah. Because it is technically a breakdown. You're removing instruments.
Oh,
love it. Thought it was really great. Really enjoyed the song. Overall, not a bad album. I've certainly heard worse Joe albums that he's picked. And, yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
I thought this album was alright. I don't think there was any terrible songs. I'm not saying there's any amazing songs, but I'm just not saying it's like terrible because it's not.
Why do you always have to counteract a good comment with a bad comment?
Because I'm not gonna
it's you.
bullshit. Yeah, I'm not gonna make out like it's amazing because it's not. Right. I'm just gonna say like I think it's alright. It's. However, I think the screamo adds to the songs purely because the singer's not that good. And I think he requires contrast to actually sound all right. Like, I still stand by it. If he sung every song on this album, he sounds no different in any of the songs. Like, I don't think he's got a terrible voice. I just think it's very boring. Like, if you take every part in each song that he sings, it sounds exactly the same in the next song, and the next song, and the next. And I think it would just be so shit. Whereas I think the screamo artist is actually quite good and actually adds to stuff.
I could not disagree with what you're saying more. I think he's the worst screamo guy we've had.
He isn't. He's like proper up there with like Wage War's screamo, I think. But
was Wage War screamo good?
I can't remember. I block out all the screaming.
That's the right way to be about it, to be fair.
But I will say the screamo artist on his own, not good. I think like that's what works though, because neither of them are particularly great. So on their own, they'd be shit. Like,
that's why we work so well together.
Yeah,
exactly.
On our own, we're shit.
I think either of them on their own would be shit, but I think together it kind of works because they contrast from each other, which is why Hearts of Gold is the worst, because he's on his own screaming all the time and it's just naff and a bit shit. And I think that's got some of like the most listens on this album, but I don't.
But if he's one of the best screamo guys you've had, surely the screamo song on his own would be good. Just saying.
No.
Wait, no, Will was talking about the contrast, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Will said he was also one of the best screamo artists we've had.
Well, if your mother was in a wheelchair, she would be a bike.
From what Joe's picked, we haven't had that many good screamo artists picked. in my
Exactly.
opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot better out there, such as A Day to Remember. And
But we
I hear
have
what you're
had
saying.
him.
I
yes,
hear what you're saying, Denver.
that's one of them, but there's a lot more like that.
And I respect your statement.
Third
But fuck off.
was Between Two.
That's
And-
not on this album.
Was between two songs, Legacy and Ghost. But I went with Ghost because I think
They're like Jon Snow.
because I hate the bits in Legacy after the chorus where it's just like I hate his voice just doesn't sound right. It sounds trash. And again, I think Ghost again has got more contrast, so it works better. Second and first could have been switched around as well.
Okay.
In fact, I literally changed my mind during this review and listened back to him.
Slander.
He changed it when Joe said, I reckon it's going to be everyone's favourite. And
No,
then Joe,
it's definitely not in my top three. That song, I can't.
Empty
I
Throne
don't
isn't
know
in your
why.
top three.
I don't know why
Will,
I didn't like it.
Well, hang on a minute. I agreed with you at first, but I feel like you've gone a bit off the rails here.
Empty Throne trash.
You're just throwing random songs at us now.
No.
God, he's
All
going
this
to
Sean
pick
in the
like
album.
fucking Phoenix as his next pick, 2.
Even
He's
my
going to pick
dog
Blossom as his favourite.
Phoenix is my second.
Oh my god.
But that was close to being first because it is the most like not upbeat, but it's probably the second most upbeat. But it's just kind of gets you pumped. It's great for like gym stuff, and I think it's great.
I thought that was boring.
Fuck you.
How
Will
is
David.
Phoenix boring? Oh my
You're
god,
boring.
it's got the most about it on the album, like one of them, because it's just got so much involved with it. But number one, is Everglow. It is the most like atmospheric, and that's one thing I want to say about this album. I think this is quite good. I was going to say as well, the production's amazing, but I also think like it creates like
A lot of ambience.
yeah, loads
Yeah.
of that's the right word, ambience. Like even like the interludes, like the song Echoes on the first album works so well with Ghost, and I think that's why Ghost kind of topped it for me. Even though it's separate, it worked so well to introduce you to the album, to Ghost. I think I really liked how that worked. Like I say, a lot of the backing singers, like you say, Joe, is very 30 Seconds to Mars-esque on Everglow, and I really like that because it's like powerful and
Even
it
that,
works.
just the intro, it's just
Oh yeah,
mind
definitely.
you straight away.
And like the ending as well. I just think I love stuff like that in songs. I think that's like why I like Biffy Clyro so much as well, because they have a very like similar, just like powerfulness to their stuff. It's and Harry Hudson, people like that, just great. And I think that's why Everglow is my favourite, and it's the most upbeat. It's just a happy song. It's great. But yeah,
Maybe
Bit of
You're
a-
Great. Did you think of that?
I mean, you know. Also, the album isn't too long. It doesn't
Yeah.
take shit for too long. And like Denver says, it's clean. The album looks really nice. I fucking love the album cover. Like it's so cool. And yeah, it's good. I enjoyed the album a bit. Average.
Ratings time.
Well, fuck my pussy.
Fuck my pussy. It's a 7.
3.5.
It's a 5.
It's a 5.
You didn't sound so sure though, William.
'Cause I wasn't sure 5.55, but I decided 5.
It
I
scores.
think 3.5 is really low. Sorry, go on.
It scores 20.5.
Nice.
That's the
That's a-
same as Hosier.
Is that the best
Damn.
metal album we've had?
Wasteland, baby. Sorry. It probably is, to be fair.
If it beats A Day to Remember, it's 4.
Might not be a day to remember.
But A Day to Remember isn't metal.
No.
It's not the highest metal album.
Oh no, it's going to take some time to look through that.
Yeah,
Oh,
can we? Yeah, but I've got time.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, I've got more
What was the
time.
score? 20.
0.5.
20.5.
But there's no other guy.
That hook is is great. That's the reason I put that as my favourite. Like, because that hook was good enough to carry it.
Legacy is really good.
Hang on, is I Prevail metal?
Yeah.
Prevail?
Yeah, that's male.
I Prevail scored the same.
Oh, okay.
I think I Prevail's album's better.
Wrong.
No, they had that horrible rapping shit in it.
There was a lot of
I
weird.
thought you liked rapping.
I thought you liked rapping.
Yeah, so it's equal
Well,
highest.
I like good rappers.
Equal highest metal album.
What was they? Do you remember? Get?
I bet 23.
23.5.
Correct.
Big brain. Big brain. Well, shit. What's the next album? Will.
That's not my pick.
Will. Just cut where I said Denver.
You need a clean will.
Will.
Gonna look at my albums to pick page in my book. So I'm not been sure what to go for.
In which
But
case,
But I'm just gonna wing it because I've been listening to him loads at the minute, and I think
Hall & Oates, here we go.
I want to change people's minds on them.
Oh no.
It's Don Broco,
Oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
Automatic.
Shit, that saves me a pick. That's what I was going to pick next.
Whoa.
I feel like I've been picking a lot of obviously like artists we've already listened to recently, but I feel like it's necessary at the moment to go back and compare stuff. So yeah, let's listen to that one.
Oh no, this has that.
The deluxe version.
Yeah, deluxe. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, does it have that song in it? Oh no, it doesn't. I'm okay. It's like one of their newest songs that I really didn't like. Half Man, Half God.
Oh man, how god.
That's not even on an album, 'cause that's a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, come on.
All right.
I couldn't be less excited.
Because I've been listening to this album anyway. So I was like, oh, I'm going to pick it for album review.
Great.
Well.
There we go. Any closing statements or thoughts there, Joe?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go dye my hair, fucking blonde